Recently on Next, I've been describing my tech stack, and that as a solo dev, I was able to build a large multi-language website. Someone was asking about, like, do you mind sharing insights about how you went about internalization and localization setup with Sanity and Next.js? Actually, I've created a new branch out of my Next.js Sanity starter that's called Schema UI. So if you go to Next.js Sanity starter, there is a branch called example internalization. Today I'm going to show you the full demo, how it all works. So here I have a subdomain, starter internalization schema UI.com. As you can see, this is my regular page builder template with all the sections rendered on the homepage. But you may notice that there is a new drop-down that actually has Spanish and French version of the same site, and actually I used Sanity AI assist to help me with translations, and I'll quickly show you how it all works. So here's the Spanish version and here's the French version. It's all working really smooth and fast, and I'll quickly walk you through the Sanity dashboard, how it all looks. So here I have pages. You can see that every single page has its own localized version. Same for the posts. For the categories, I decided to go with internalized fields. So actually, you don't need to translate everything, but for example, like development categories, you wanted to translate and then show them on a cards, or maybe you have a filter and actually you are filtering by the actual title in the URL rather than creating new categories. So filter internalization works better than the whole document internalization here. So authors, just one author, FAQs the same, they all have translated versions, the same for testimonials. But actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this index page and show you how easily you can create translations with help of Sanity AI Assist. Demo and publish. Let's go and see. So now we have this demo page that is not translated, obviously, and it's fully dynamic page with all the sections here, the blocks, part of the page builder I've created. What we need to do is actually create the translation, and what I did is on the app level already assigning the English version, so you don't have to like click and create the English translation version from the basic page. And how plugin works is kind of creates translations reference to the different document that you have translation. So let's go and create Spanish version first. And you can see it created a Spanish version, and we can actually click it here. But of course, it's creating like a copy of your English version, right? Not translated. We can go and actually go ahead and translate everything on your own, but where Sanity really shines with their AI assist, and I'll show you later on the video how I set up AI translations. So we can click translate document, and you can see it's starting translating. It goes field by field. Kind of takes time for you to translate, and I believe this is really helpful. This is the live version, everything happens on live, so that means my setup with static page generation, the Next.js will generate a page and create like a static version that helps reduce your query fetching, because it's gonna fetch the data once when you create in the page, and then when user hits the page, he will get the can see success. It's completed the translation, including all the fields, except it's not translating references, because like I have testimonials that need to be translated separately, but I'll show you quickly how to do this. So meta, title, description, everything's translated. I hit publish. And if we go now to the demo, go to Spanish version and see it's already translated. So every single section translated, as I mentioned before, except for the references. So for the references, I'm using here FAQs that lives in it's a different document that you can actually create in Sanity and then simply reference. So imagine you have like real large website, and it's not a good practice to go and copy paste every single time the new testimonial or FAQ. So you just go and create your FAQs once and simply reference them on specific pages you need. So you can see I was referencing the blog post here that's not translated yet, and testimonials here as well. And I'll quickly show you how to do that. So if we go here, we can close this doc now. We can actually go and see it created the demo here. Why it's also yellow, it's basically because we created a duplicate, and I'm using sorted documents here, and just to get rid of it, you can just quickly reset the order. It's basically having the same order in the pages here. So if we go to testimonials, you will see that I already created the translations for them, same for FAQs. And it's working pretty much the same. You go here, you create your translation with the AI assist, you can translate all those things, but I kind of went ahead and already done that. And it's all this data is in the demo sample that you can actually create a migration from it and play around on your own. And AI Assist is the paid feature on the paid plan, but actually whenever you create a new project in Sanity, it gives you 30 days of free trial, so you can go ahead and just try if AI Assist is something that you need. So let's go back and I'll quickly show you. So this is the demo copy that I created, and okay, so here's the section for the blog, here's the grid row, and as you can see, I have 3 columns that are references. So once I click on them, I can actually go and replace it already. And what I've done here, whenever I remove that, it's already filtering results by the language, and I did that on the app level. I'll show you later. So I can go replace this one, replace this one, and what else? Replace this one. You can actually clear and choose another one if you want, but replacing works as well. And here's the third one. I click, sorry about that. I click publish, and going back, and you see it's swapped with the translated version, and I can actually click. We have translated version of the blog post here, and also the French version. And yeah, this is how it works. Pretty simple setup. I'll quickly go and show what I've done on the code level. So my whole setup is based on awesome Next.js internalization docs, and I believe there's no point to just actually talk about this. So it's all having the basic setup of minimal routing and translation. So what I did is grabbed lots of logic from this example, and what I want to focus on is actually the Sanity config. So for my setup, I'm using document internalization array, and AI assist. And here it is. So document internalization, we have to set supported languages and what schema types we want to translate. Internalized array, I'm actually, as I showed you before, I'm using it for categories. So we have this assist setup, and it's basically, if you using a free version, it's not gonna work. The assist not gonna work, but for the purpose of the demo, I just wanted to highlight how quick it with translations. And also, whenever you set up assist, you have the translate options with the document and with the fields for the array. So with the document, we're saying like language field, by default is language, and what document types are supported for AI assist translations. And for the fields, I'm saying it's just for category and for those languages. So maybe you have like different categories and you want to automate the translations. We go to the page document, we just need to add fields called language, and we set up as read only. And what I've done is I set the initial value to always be English. This way you don't need to, whenever you create a document, you don't need to click like on translation and create the English version, because like it's gonna be created by default. So we are listing these languages for, it's actually not mandatory, but for AI translation to work, picks it up from this list and detects which version it has and what translation needs to be done. Everything else is pretty straightforward from my setup. So we have all the blocks, that's kind of part of a page builder. No changes here at all, except probably for all posts. And then also go into categories. Just wanted to show you that we have like analyzed title. So imagine you have like I only have in here Slack, but imagine you would also have like Slack, and I would use that for to query the search params to, for example, filter documents. So whenever somebody go to your website and you are filtering something like products by category, it's really good to have like a Slack that is like hyphened and lowercase. So in this way, you would want to use internationalized title, because you don't want to translate your original title. You don't want to translate Slacks for filtering. What else? If we go to my Slack, we need to pass language, what's different from my actual basic setup. And so we are passing language as a lang param to fetch Sanity page Slack, and we are passing it to the query. And it's pretty simple here. So I'm just filtering out by Slack and specific language, and we simply getting the translated version of the page. This is pretty simple setup, maybe a little bit different than Sanity suggests. Like they showing you on their docs, they showing you how you can actually query translations for the page, and I thought like, okay, we are switching the page in Next.js, so there is no reason to actually query the translation. We're actually querying the page by language, and it provided us with the translated version. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here, and maybe you have a totally different setup, but this works for me. And as you saw in the demo, it's all straightforward and works just like a charm. For the post, the same. We have a post, Slack, and language equals language. So if we go to the blocks section, the only thing that I'm actually changing here is I need to pass the link to the component, because all post component is using the lang file. But if you don't want to reference the different posts or something like that, you would not need to pass it for the block builder here. So I'm just doing that because when I'm fetching the Sanity posts dynamically on the page, I would need to pass the language there. So yeah, I believe this is all pretty straightforward, and you can simply go and look through my example in example generalization. Hope this was helpful for you, and let me know if in the comments maybe you want to have this as a separate repo, not just the branch. So let me know and I would create that, so maybe it's easily to integrate into your project.